This is a question out of 1.6 dealing with radical equations. And so the student had some issues with it, wanted to see if we could figure it out. So let's work this out together. So remember, the first step I'm going to do is when I rewrite my problem here, I'm going to square both sides, right, to get rid of the square root that we have on the left side. So I know that this square root and that square will cancel each other out. That's going to leave me with 5x plus 66. Now, since we're squaring this part, I'm going to go ahead and write it out twice. 3x plus 24 and another 3x plus 24, okay? And so now I'm going to have 5x plus 66 equals, let's go ahead and multiply, that's 9x squared. 3 times 24 should be 72x. 24 times 3 is another 72x, and 24 times 24 is 576, okay? And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 5x plus 66 equals 9x squared. 72 and another 72 is 144x plus 576. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 5x and I'm going to subtract 66 on both sides, so that now on the left I have 0. Okay. So let's see, 144 minus 5 should be a positive 139 with an x. 576 minus 66 is 510. Okay, so I'm just going to rewrite the C problem on the next page right here. Oops, why am I putting a 5? It's not a 5. There we go. Okay, so we have a 9x squared, and we have a plus 139 with an x, and a plus 510 equals 0. Okay, so guys, when my numbers are big, like this big, I can factor it. I know this problem should factor. But instead of me factoring it, I'm going to use the quadratic formula, because even though the quadratic formula is time consuming, I think it's going to be easier than me finding numbers that multiply to whatever 9 times 510 is, and then looking for the pair that add up to 139, you know. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. This is 9, this is 139, and that's 510. So if you remember from the quadratic formula, it says x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over, And like I said, it's corny, but when people are taking the test, yeah, they do all that kind of fun stuff. All right, so let's go ahead and start plugging in. First thing says negative b, so let's put a negative. B is 139 plus or minus big square root, the number b, 139 squared, minus 4 times a times c, okay, all over 2 times a, which is 9. Okay, so this is a negative 139. Let's see. Plus or minus big square root here, okay? So I'm going to take my calculator, I'm going to graph and calc 139, we got to square it. 19,321, so this is 19,321 minus, now I'm going to take 4 times 9 times 510, so 4 times 9 times 510, 18,360, okay? 18,360. all over 18, because that's what 2 times 9 is. Negative 139 plus or minus big square root. Okay, let's take our calculator again, and we're going to subtract those numbers. So 19,321 minus 18,360, 961. Okay, all over 18. Okay, we're almost done. Well, maybe not really, but we're getting there. Okay, negative 139 plus or minus. Okay, now I got to take the square root of 961. So I'm going to go second square root of 961 and hit enter. 31, nice and pretty. All over 18. Okay, so look, on the next page, I'm going to rewrite it. Negative 139. Remember, we had plus, what was it, 31? Yes. Plus 31 over 18. And then we had negative 139 minus 31 all over 18. So we're going to have two answers, right? So let's take a look here. What's negative 139? Oops, sorry. What's negative 139 plus 31? 108 over 18. And I think it's going to go in nice and pretty, actually. We can divide that out. So 108 divided by 18, 6. Okay. So this answer is, oops, that's a negative right there. Forgot that. So that's a negative 6. And then here, let's see, that's 10, 6, 170. Negative 170 over 18. Oh, I know I can at least divide them both by 2. So that's 9. And let me see, what's 170 divided by 2? I don't know. It's Friday, right? 85. Okay, so negative 85 over 9. And yes, those are my two answers. Okay, so we have two answers. We have negative 6, and we have negative 85 over 9. So what we need to do is we need to check those answers, okay? So the way I'm going to check those answers is I'm going to come back to the original problem. Here it is. Let me move it over here like that. Okay. And the first answer we're going to check, let's check negative 6, okay? So let's do this. 5, and we'll go with the black pen. The red kind of hard to see. Negative 6 plus 66. Okay, so I'm just doing the left side first. This is negative 30 plus 66. This is 36, and the square root of that is 6. So now we're going to see, is that equal to 3 times negative 6 plus 24? So 3 times negative 6, negative 18, plus 24 is a positive 6. So we know that x is equal to negative 6 works out, right? That's the answer because that was the answer we came up with right there. So this answer is good, okay? Now we have to check that answer. So we'll do that over here. So look, I'm going to come back here, take my problem again. Let me rotate that, and let me move it over here like this. Okay, so now we're going to plug in the other answer, which was negative 85 over 9. Okay, so 5 times negative 85 over 9 plus 66, okay? So I don't know what 5 times negative 85 is. Let me try it. 5 times 85, I know it's negative 425, okay? So negative 425 over 9 plus, I'm going to think of this 66 over 1 because I do need to get a common denominator, okay? And that common denominator is going to be 9. So I'm going to multiply this one by 9 and that one by 9. So I still have a negative 425 over 9 plus whatever 66 times 9 is. 66 times 9. 594, excuse me, 594 over 9. And now we got to subtract those two. What's 594 minus 425? Mine is 425 is 169. So this is 169 over 9. The square root of 169, y'all, is 13, and the square root of 9 is 3. So that's what we have on the left side. Now, we still got to check this side. So I'm going to take 3 times a negative 85 over 9 plus 24. Well, this 3 and that 9 are going to reduce. So now I have a negative 85 over 3 plus, I'm going to think of this 24 as 24 over 1. I need to get a common denominator, so I got to multiply the bottom one by 3 and the top one by 3. So that's a 3 there. What's 3 times 24? Who knows? Oops. 3 times 24. 72. Okay. So this is a 72. And so on the bottom I have 3, but I want you to look at the top. Negative 85 and 72, that's giving me a negative 13. And let's see, this answer here and that answer there are not the same. So the only answer that's working out for us is negative 6. So the answer here would be x equals negative 6. So guys, I know I went through the whole problem and we got our two answers, but it is important to check because one answer may work and one answer may not. So if you put both, and maybe they both don't work, okay? Maybe only one does. Maybe both work, but that's the whole point of checking. All right, y'all got questions? Let me know.